You have to. Did you click on that? Re- Recording was okay. Okay.
Are you
Uh,
taping me without my
yeah.
knowledge?
No, I am. I am definitely taping you with your knowledge, and your background is sorely lacking, brother. As usual. Can we get I don't know, get a Steelers blanket, put it over top of all that shit, you know? Anyways, all right, wannabes. We are 9 weeks done. We have 5 weeks left, including this weekend, which is about to start in an hour for us. This is our push to the playoffs episode. We are going to unload the clip. We are going to go through everyone's team. The First of all, if we start with the Mounties division, it is all over the show. There's really only one standout. That's been Scott so far. He's really just he's at the top of the with the wins. He's at the top with the points after 9 weeks. That's it. The Fairies division is a it's a slugfest. It has the opposite standout. There's one team at the bottom that's clearly at the bottom. It's you got five teams going in after week nine, 11 over 1,100 points versus two teams over 1,100 points for the Mounties. So that's a little embarrassing for us. Uh, the Mounties were just this fight for mediocrity and for the playoffs. Any team could get in there, and the Fairies division is this heavyweight shootout, and it's one team is one of those really strong teams isn't going to make it. I think. Would you agree, Neal, that the Fairies are the kind of the Mike Tyson division, and the Mounties are definitely Jake Paul. I this is not. There's no doubt about which division is stronger this year, and I'm gonna make the call right now, right here, right now. The title is definitely going back to the island this year. I just see too many strong teams there.
It sounds about right. There's probably a lot of false confidence over on the Vancouver division, and the Island Fairies are gonna come through and power punch everybody.
Oh,
So
it is
um,
just
I think
every time you face one of them, you're like,
you're
holy shit.
you're bang on with the
You froze again, brother. It's great to
yeah.
always
We're on
have
the
you.
rise.
Yeah, you froze again right there.
Is
It's
that
always
better?
great to have you on and have you with your moving boxes behind you and your 1986 computer there. But I've got red bars for you. Are you coming back to me?
Is that better? Am
I
I
hope it
in?
is. I hope it is. I hope it is. Did your kids start playing a video game in your house and we've lost you? I don't know. You're back. I think you're back. Okay. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. We're
Okay.
gonna start going through all the divisions. We're starting at the very bottom and working our way up. And let's start at the bottom. Bottom. Uh, I think you've got that one, Neal.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we had me and my brother had an agreement to jinx everybody on in the league and say they're going all the way to the top and they're going to win the championships. But I can't say it with Justin. His team is garbage. He's
This,
not going anywhere. This
you
is
know,
awful.
before you dive into the details, I think you know when I was looking at this, I was like, "Holy shit!" Justin's reached rock bottom, and he's shown signs of starting to dig. Like he is,
He's
I
somewhere. He's somewhere in China, I think.
I cannot. Yeah, remember when you were a little kid and you were digging a hole and you were like, I'm gonna dig a hole to China, right? Like I think that's where Justin is right now. Holy God.
So he sits at 1-8, and his team kind of looks like the drawer in your kitchen where you just start to shove shit into. the one where you just have phone chargers, like old cock rings and half battery packs and
Well,
stuff.
it looks like your wife's phone drawer.
Yes, exactly.
She
Stuff that
has
you
she
just
has every iPhone ever made.
you, but you can't throw it away
And
because you
you
might
can't throw
need
it
it
away, and they're
someday.
all useless.
Yeah. So he's the junk drawer of the league. He says his favorite draft pick was Caleb Williams, who's had a few good weeks, but now the Bears are back to being embarrassing. He says none.
He's not even playing them this week.
Yeah, yeah. I I don't know what's happening there. It's a bit of a confusing roster. None of his waiver picks have worked out, and his best victory was his only victory against Nathan Potty.
Yeah,
So there's nowhere to go but up for the boob. And
but he's not going up, bud.
yeah, maybe you should just start collecting shit for next year.
Yeah,
And I'll close it out with that because I feel kind of sad for him, actually. I'm just,
it's a
there's times
bad
where,
year. It's a bad
yeah,
sometimes you have a bad year. I remember the year that I lost it all. I still kind of had there was like this little bit of hope that I wasn't going to come dead last. There's no hope for him. He this is uh you know the first year I came last, by the way. Yeah, I still had hope. Okay. Uh, the second year I got the nipple. Like if we had a nipple piercing on the line, Justin was he would get it this year
oh,
for
he
sure.
would have a big hoop hanging out of his areola right now.
Yeah. Okay. So are we ready to shift off of this? I mean, let's be honest. He's 1-8. His points for is the lowest in the league. It's not it's not pretty, and I don't think he's not winning this week. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
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 we
he's
know what's happened to him with I've already scored my two players have probably scored more points than he's going to get this whole week. So there we
yeah,
are.
he's the fat kid at private school, and he's getting his lunch money taken. It's bad.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna flip. We're gonna go to the Mounties division now. Uh, everybody knows how we got the Vancouver Mounties name, right? And I mean, this guy talks about stuff being gay all the time. I used to be the strength and conditioning coach for there used to be something in the world called the Gay Games. And I used to be the strength and conditioning coach for the gay Canadian soccer team that was, you know, coined the Vancouver Mounties. So this guy talks about gay all the time. He says all our stuff is gay, and he means no offense to the gays, but I actually think he means it. He's pretty offensive. But the commissioner is shady. He's sitting at 3-6. He's got 957 points for. He's pretty low in our division, second lowest, and he sets low standards every week, and then he fails to meet them. Like that
If
is just how he works.
if anybody's getting mounted, it's Chris.
Yeah, yeah. It's his best draft player was in it just is Connor, concrete Connor, we're gonna call him, right? And his waiver, you know what, he's had a couple of good waiver pickups, and he said, like, this was, we asked these guys a couple of weeks ago what their best waiver was, and it was, he's saying Dobbins. But I we know he put all his money in the basket, and for the waiver pickup of DeAndre Hopkins, who had a great week last week. I can see that. You know,
I could see a lot of boom bust, weeks for Hopkins.
mhm.
The Chiefs aren't really uh, scoring points unless they have to.
they're the team that does just enough to win.
and they don't care because they win every time. So
Yeah,
it's not as if they're in desperate need of points, but that's kind of where Hopkins comes in. He's a basketball player, plucking the ball out of the air, but
yeah,
I think he's not going to be catching a lot of short balls, so it'll be up and down for him.
yeah, 100%. Sorry, writing notes as we go. But uh, you know, his best win, I'm gonna, he didn't write anything for us, so I'm gonna say his best win was against me, where he got his highest score. That really sucked because a lot of people have done that to me this year. Uh, Position of need, he did a great trade with me. And his position of need is he traded for a QB. His position of need is still QB. I think I might have swindled him on that one. So, uh, you know, he's won 3 games. And he started cheating like crazy after week 2. I think he still has an illegal lineup. Let's check it out here. Yeah. Oh no, he's trimmed things down. He's trimmed
I was
things
gonna
down.
say, do we need to fix his lineup again?
No, no, it looks like he's trimmed it down, and he only has. Oh no, no, no. It's still illegal. I went down. I scrolled down. Mike Evans is not on IR. Tyler Lockett is. I can't even comment. Is
Okay, so here's the thing: the guy is calling me shady for dropping his fourth string tight end. I'm feeling offended and a little gaslit.
yeah.
Um,
But can you go in and please either drop Lockett or Mike Evans, because it's really fucking
it,
bad. He's just
it,
cheating like crazy.
okay,
Okay, so let's Chris. Like we said, this is our low standards team right here. You call everybody out, but Bud, you're 3-6. Maybe one more win is in the bag for you to finish off the year, but you're at the bottom. I don't see you chasing for a playoff spot here, Bud. Okay, let's Neal. You are up.
okay.
Oh,
Who's
hold on, wait. We're
I
going
guess
back to
it's
Neal's division, and let's be honest, that we can't have Neal judge his own team, can we? We cannot. So I'm going to take this. But I do want to ask you questions. I want to know, who is your best surprise drafted player?
well, if I was gonna pick one, I would say Najee Harris. He's kind of started off slow, but he seems to have picked it up in the last
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks. So I'm happy about that. I definitely wasn't expecting anything out of him.
Best
And
waiver. What's your best waiver pickup?
best waiver pickup, I would say the gift from Rob, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's kind of
He had a big week last week.
he had a big week. He kind of won me the week, and I think he's ascending. So he's my favorite.
Okay, and your favorite victory of the year.
Favorite victory of the year. Shit, I wasn't
Okay, move on from that one. What's your
prepared for
position of
that.
need?
Position of needs. I desperately need a quarterback. That would be
It
phenomenal if
it doesn't look good.
no.
I think I've actually got a note. Okay, so let's going through your team. You're 4-5. You have the highest points against in your division. It might is it the high? No, no. Ian has the highest points against overall, but you have the highest points against in your division by far, by almost like 100 points. But you have the second lowest points for, which means you kind of, when you add that up, it means you're going to get boat raced every week, bud. So uh, when I look at this, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that you have a 4-5 record, to be honest.
Well, to be honest, brother, it's all about coaching. not many people can do what I do, and I know the right buttons to push. And even
And
though
you
I've
know
been
what?
there, like,
Jackson Smith and Jigba, like they've got a bye right now, and DK's coming back after that bye. There's a meme out there where all these guys are congratulating Jackson Smith and Jigba. You the man, you the fucking shit, like this and that. And then there's this, and it's different players on the team, and then you just see in the background DK Metcalf just staring at him. He doesn't like that, man. So your running backs are your biggest strength, I think. Am I correct in saying that?
I would say so. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're pretty strong there. Your QBs I think are going to be your lesson this year. You know, you went completely out on a limb and you put it into
that limb broke.
yeah, and yeah, I would say that your team's in the weeds, man. I would say that you're in the weeds, and I don't know if you're coming out.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you know what? You can say you'll see, but it's the QB is the issue, and you're, like
I've got a young QB who likes to run the ball, and he's getting coached by Sean Payton. So I think there's a lot of potential there.
yeah, but you're not even. Just so you know, you don't have him starting, right?
I know
Yeah,
he's
because it's
playing.
against
He's
K. It's
playing.
at KC. It's at KC against
Yeah,
KC. That's like one of the best defenses. Totally. All right. Unfortunately for me, I get to keep going here, and we're gonna shift positions now, I think, and we're gonna talk about a team. We're gonna talk about Sam Malone. This guy, he could have a bike helmet on for ages and ages. He would take his hat off. He'll still have the greatest hair in the league, and that's how he got his. Uh, how he got his name. But he's 3-4, and he's got 900. What is it? 978 points for, but he's got the highest points against in the league. And he's 3-6. My bad. He's 3-6. He definitely has like this well losing record. Sorry, 3-6, not 3-4. And definitely has this well losing record. And I don't know how. I don't know how. Um, I want at 3-6. I want to say because two-time champ. I want to say that this guy is my hero to zero guy. Like I'm gonna want to tell you that he's gonna lose and he's gonna like I just see him keep going down. Like, and that's I was looking for a hero to zero, and I was hoping it was gonna be Ian. Uh, and then I want to. We're not going to do this for everybody. I just want to read this guy's team: Brock Purdy, Brees Hall, Joe Mixon, Puka Nakua, Devontae Smith, Evan Ingram, Aaron Jones, the Jets defense on his bench: Cardinals QB, Amari Cooper, Roma Dunze, and on IR, Chris Olave.
yeah. You know,
What?
Ian's team looks cool on paper, right? So, do you remember when Dad used to come home with an armful of fireworks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in that bundle was the thing called the burning schoolhouse,
Yeah.
and we all got excited, and we thought, "Hey, gather around, everyone! This is going to be amazing." And
Oh
then it
yeah.
turned out to be the biggest fucking dud you've ever
Because
seen.
it just kind of
Yeah, it
and it
just
just lit
burst
on
into
fire and
flames.
it didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then we all just said, "Okay, let's light a screecheroo and get on with our lives." I think he's set up for victory. It just doesn't seem to be working out for the
I
guy.
I
So
know, bud, but I really want you to have a look at this. I just want you to fucking follow the breadcrumbs here. Okay? All right? Okay? They're still on the trail. The birds didn't eat these breadcrumbs. They're still on the trail. This team's going to the candy house. This is a mediocre division. Okay. All right. There's not a lot of people that have like, you know, maybe there's some teams that are Scott's ahead of everybody, but then the rest of us are like 2 wins ahead of him. Okay. This is the guy. This is the guy that I think could squeak into the playoffs. And when I look at his team, I'm following this trail. It's led me to the candy house. This guy, he could squeak out a three-peat.
If he makes it to the playoffs, you
Look
guys are
out.
you guys are fucked. Yeah.
I don't want to be the first guy to play him. I'd like to make it to the second week of the playoffs. Scott could be sitting there on the top, and Ian could squeak in, and there we go. It could be a three-peat here. Why is your camera so shaky?
Sorry.
Are you jerking off while we do this? Like,
Well, I
what?
do enjoy it.
I do not want to know about that room. Okay. All right, but there you are, Ian. I think I read through your list here, Ian. Who is your best surprise player? Joe Mixon. He just keeps banging it. I think he got an honorary captain the other week. A best waiver pickup, Evan Ingram. Holy, and surprise victory. He liked his one against Kyle, where he scored the most points this year. Uh, all he says is his team needs to get healthy, and they are now. That's it. Like that was a couple weeks ago. Holy, okay, Ian. Uh, I love you and I don't love you at the same time. It's an ugly looking team. Neal, I believe you are up.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the replacements here. They are 3-3, and he's one win away from being tied with me. That should tell you
You
everything
know,
you need to know.
I know. Do we want to go through his list of things first, or
Yeah, okay. So his favorite drafted player was Demont, who is actually outperforming his number one RB,
love
Rashad
that
White.
guy? Tough.
And yeah, he's tough as nails. But can we talk about CD Lamb, please? You
Mm,
know, he's cracked 100 receiving yards once.
I
It's
know, but
been it's been a bit of a gong show for that guy's season. And
and that was his
number
just
one,
despite underperforming. Um, you know, that's his guys. Who's your favorite? Um, victory of the year. And Lamb underperformed that year. His week 3 was his favorite victory, and Lamb underperformed that week, right?
yeah,
So
and his favorite pickup of the year has been Kareem Hunt, who
another
will,
tough guy.
yeah, he will hopes he keeps rolling and fucking not boot any chicks while he's making his comeback. Um,
That guy cost me a year doing that. Holy, playing for the Chiefs. He was the best player I'd ever seen, and he punted that chick on camera.
well, moving
So
on, his favorite victory was week 3 against me. And Josh and
was
the
that?
Bills defense kind of pulled through for him. I think he wins it all this year with Josh Allen in tow.
No, you know what? And he says, what position you're trying to make stronger. And I love his little joke here because he's called the replacements and he says everybody's replaceable.
Yeah, yeah,
So he gave us a little good little nugget there. I agree with you. But he's in tough. He's in
yeah.
tough. That is a tough division. One of these top guys, like they're all you got 5 strong guys there, but do you see his team? Like I look at his team and it's pretty damn good, right?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it's got holes all over the place. I think uh, having to start Addison is a little bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman's hurt. Um, Bill's defense is doing okay.
They're playing
Um,
Indianapolis this weekend, man. Like,
well, that's my quarterback.
yeah,
What are you saying?
yeah. But I mean, look at his running backs. Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery, Austin Eckler, Kittle's his tight end. Okay, again, he's got a similar is. I think it was like your weakness too is wide receivers, right? But Bills QB, Bills defense. But this is like I'm a WWE wrestler. I'm in the ring, and I just had a victory, and the music starts playing, and I'm like looking around. You know how the wrestlers do? They're like looking around, and all this fucking sudden, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes fucking walking down the ramp. That's what I feel like if I'm playing this team, man. Like Bills
He's got
QB,
he's got some big, heavy hitters in there for sure.
yeah, and all you hope is that Stone Cold Steve Austin's really drunk, and this ain't his time, because that guy was alcoholic for sure. you know, fuck.
But he's got a tough uphill battle in
Oh,
our division just because
that
it's it's a powerhouse. So
it is again. It's that Mike Tyson division, right?
okay. So moving on, I think you're next with Nathan.
Nathan's team.
Nathan,
Yeah, I think Nathan's
good
team.
kid.
Yeah, good. Good kid. And they've Nathan's definitely done some good waiver pickups this year, right? He's who's your best drafted player? I mean, he's sitting there and he's telling us that it is the Bears D, and I can't disagree with that. And again, they're playing New England this weekend. So he's getting points. He's getting points from that. Who's your favorite waiver pickup? Do you want to read it? Because I can't.
Was it Kate Otten?
No, it's Chase Brown. He actually has three. He has three guys. Did you see in the chat? He had he wanted to thank guys for dropping other players, and Chase Brown was up top. Cortland Sutton was one. Kate Otten was another.
Can
You
you
know,
imagine your team with Chase Brown?
uh,
Oh,
so
gee.
um, favorite victory of the year, and he calls it right here. He says, "My victory in the finals." He's projecting a long-term victory.
Now, I think that statement right there wasn't Nathan. That was Mark.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Because he walks with a swagger and we're not sure why. But hopefully Nathan cuts off his dad from the chat and takes over things there.
Yeah, Mark in the chat is kind of like Trump having Twitter.
There's the smart people behind him
Yeah,
and they're
and then
talking,
yeah,
but he's not
and
listening.
then Trump gets on at like 3 a.m. He has a thought, and he just puts it out there, and everybody's like, um, and then he says he's trying to make his position. The position he's trying to make stronger is his RBs. That might have been a couple of yeah, no, it is. Yep.
Well,
I was gonna say that was a couple of weeks ago, but no, he's still got ETN and
Madison,
so yeah,
that's
yeah,
a solid running back room right
yeah.
there.
Chase Brown is his shining light for sure.
I think you were just doing him a solid there because
Uh,
you were watching your friend go down in flames.
it was 2 weeks of dudding out and look like Zach Moss was taking it. Anyways, I still if I'm looking at this, I his QBs are definitely fucking hurting. I would have said his QBs, Texans, and then Saints. The Texans have underperformed all year. That is not the team that we thought it was going to be, or the QB that we thought it was going to be. You know, um, Mark's sitting here. He's 4-5. I'd like because Mark likes to cook. He's a bit of a chef. So I'd like to kind of spin this in a way that Mark's a really really good steak that's been sous vide too long. It's it might have been good once. There was but I really think this team is about to fall apart. That running back room is not what it needs to be. The QBs are not what they need to be. So I see this team just kind of falling apart like a steak that's, you know, hey, you were supposed to take that out of the sous vide like 4 hours ago.
I thought we were supposed to jinx everybody here, bro.
Mm.
All the way up.
All the
All
way
the
up,
way up.
Mark. You're going to the top, man. You know what, bro? I can't do it. I can't do it. There's teams where I think deserve it. Like Ian's team. I'm gonna jinx Ian because I and tell him that he's gonna win a three-peat because, like actually, it looks his team looks scary. But like Mark's team. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Mark's team's like this podcast here. Okay, like I'm sitting here, I look well together. I got a Seahawks blanket, I got the shirt on, I got the hat on. What really comes down to it is I'm just kind of wearing my underwear and I got nothing down below. Okay. All right. So that's how I see Mark's team.
Did you stick a rubber ducky in your underwear?
No, no. I'm all balls, man. I'm all balls. Okay. Are we moving on?
Moving
Mark's
on.
team. Um,
So we got Kyle's team, the Golden Shower. He's 5-4.
how's he fourth?
I, you know what? I don't know. He's weebled and wobbled with injuries, but still managed to have a winning record. In his words, his best surprise draft player is Brian Robinson Jr. He's been a consistent asset on a ascending Commanders offense.
Yeah.
In the event that Eckler gets run over by a bus, Robinson's value will go up even more.
He's injured
Joker,
this week though.
yeah. He tried to trade me, and I was ready to do it, but the guy wasn't playing, so forget it.
Oh, he tried to trade me that injured player too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Brian Robinson. He was trying to trade me. He was injured. I
yeah.
was,
He's a bit of a creep that way.
yeah,
So watch out for the trades with that guy. He says Njoku's his best waiver pickup, which happened to be for his tight end bye week replacement.
yeah.
Njoku's a stud, and that they should pepper him with targets. So
And,
that's a
and we
good.
know we know that this backup QB that's in right now, he just likes to sling it. So for
Yeah,
the Browns.
and with
So
no Amari Cooper,
oh,
Njoku is the man of the hour.
how many
Um,
how many targets is that guy gonna get?
oh Jesus, he's finally going to earn his money. His favorite victory was against Steve, even though the early projections look rough. But thankfully, Lamar is a beast, MVP, insane season so far. Even though he talks like he's got a mouthful of marbles, it seems he's communicating quite well with his receivers. Um, his favorite win was beating Noob, me, Matt, and Steve, which he says collectively is a 4-team divisional dumpster fire. I don't know where he's getting that because we just stated many times that our division is off the chains. He's looking to strengthen his wideouts, especially Waddle, who's turned into a major bust this year. Um, and then Jameis Williams getting suspended for PEDs. Confusing that his output last game was just one catch for negative 4 yards. Loser.
How does that how do you might want to do some different PEDs?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of PEDs he's doing, but
Mhm.
he's getting them in a back alley. Um, as I said, kind of on the last pod, this team is top heavy, but you know
It's a good top heavy.
that top
It,
is heavier than Mama June. So
yeah, it's Lamar, Achan, you know, and AJ Brown. And then it's kind of like, but
I think McConkey picking up McConkey was
shut up, shut up.
well, I'm
You're
not
just trying to
joking.
talk about every player that I've dropped.
No, the guy is a lot of people are talking about him and how much he's separating and what a big study is. So I think that'll be his rookie contract if we're.
No, he can't. He can't do that. It has to be somebody you drafted.
Oh, it has. It doesn't matter if somebody else drafted him.
No, it has to be somebody you drafted. That was
Oh,
our
well,
yeah.
it's a good thing I'm the commission. I know all the rules.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're the commissioner. But you know what? Like, let's be honest. Kyle's team is really good, and it's really good because of Lamar.
Yes.
And the 49ers D is pretty good too. So I like this is like the team that when you're facing it, you're the mouse, and you just want that cheese in that trap, and it's just gonna snap right on your head. Like this, Kyle's team is you got there. It's such a tough division, and one of these guys is not going to make the playoffs.
So if you play Kyle, you have to hope that Lamar is playing an absolute turd of a team, so he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, because like look at the shootout that just happened. Look at
Yeah.
that. You know,
So if there's any back and forth with Lamar, you're screwed.
yeah, it is not. Whew. Yeah. Anyways, I where do you see this going for him? Like I just see one of these teams not making the playoffs and but holy, it's not it's I see him making it in just on Lamar on the
Yeah,
back of Lamar.
yeah, and I think the rest of his team is good enough to keep him going. You know, they're giving Stevenson the rock over and over again. A Chain's turning out to be a stud because he's staying healthy, which no one thought he could do. Um, and everything's just driven through Lamar. So that's a good car to be in.
Okay, we move it on. Yeah, it's being driven by Lamar. That is a great car to be in. We moving on to Rob here,
The Swallower.
the Swallower. Now, so he, Rob started out pretty strong. I'm not gonna. I cannot go anywhere but that. But let's rip through his surprise best drafted player. It's neighbors. I don't think any of us have any doubts about that. Like this, he could be a great player. I think he's on a shitty team. Sometimes it's hard to be a great player on a shitty team, and he's better than Harrison Jr. That's for sure. Like I think Harrison Jr. If you drafted him, I think you're seeing him as a bust. His best waiver pickup is a Broncos D, and that thing surprised everybody. Nobody thought this was going to be one of the top defenses this year,
Not
and
one
there
person.
no. So there they are. Uh, uh, what's his favorite victory of the year? Normally he'd say it's beating me. Uh, yeah, but it's hard to be proud of a win when your opponent puts up less than 70 points. Oh, God, I'll get to my team when we get to my team. So I'll say my first win uh, is he lost to Potty twice last year. Okay, so he's pretty happy with beating Potty. What position you trying to make stronger? Uh, you know, he's saying RB. Like, so I'm not
Uh,
disagreeing with him here.
I'll disagree there. I would
Yeah.
like to have some of those RBs on my team. Um, he's
Well, but when I look at your team, you, you could use Josh Jacobs, you could use Bucky Irving, or like so. That's when I look at his best waiver pickup, and I actually say it was probably Tyrone Tracy. That
yeah,
that kid is he's unbelievable. I had Singletary, and when I watched Tyrone Tracy play live because I was there for that game, and he just ran all over the fucking Seahawks. When I watched that happen, I was like, holy shit. I think I went and dropped Singletary like the next week. I was like, see you
he's
later.
done.
Yeah, like you're not playing anymore, bud.
But Noob snapped him up. He's happy to have him on his team.
But
He's
but I will say, Rob has lost three in a row. He has a losing streak of three. He started really strong. The clock has ticked midnight, and this chariot has turned into a pumpkin. He's his saving grace is going to be the fact that he's 4-2 in the division. Okay,
yeah. You think he's going to end up in a tie?
so if he ends up in a tie for a playoff spot, we go head to head is our first thing that we check on. And if he's in a tie with somebody, there's a good chance that he's beat them. Like if he's in a tie with Sam Malone, I don't know if he's beat Sam Malone. I'd have to go back and look. But if he's in a tie with somebody like that, like 4-2 in your division is really good. So that gives you a good chance to pull it off. Um, like
He's
yeah,
his. I feel like his record should be better than it is.
yeah. I
If you
don't
could,
know, man. I don't know. Again, this is one of those teams like his surprise to me actually when he says his surprise pickup or best player is neighbors. I would actually say it's Laser Mayfield. you know, like
he's
like
he's lost two of his best wideouts, and he's still killing it.
and
How
he's
did this
still
happen?
crushing it. If he hadn't lost those best wideouts, would he be in conversation with Lamar for
He
MVP of the league?
he would be number two without a doubt.
Like he like look at what they do to some of these kids and they put them in, they shouldn't be starting yet. And it's just taken Baker a few years and now he's getting the chance and he's lighting it up. Look at like he's like a Sam Darnold to me as well. Like Jordan Love, they made sit on the bench for a while. Uh,
Yeah,
like this guy is just like
he's
he's
finally
got he's
coming
got
into his own. Yeah,
yeah, he's got 9 lives and he's on number 7, I think. So yeah. Um, but he's one of the most head to heads, but he's turned into a little bit of a pumpkin here and he's lost three in a row. So Rob, uh, your chances of making the playoffs are the fact that you got a lot of head to head wins in your division, bud. So because your points for isn't okay. It's not, but it's not great.
I feel okay with saying that Rob could hold the trophy this year.
Laser Mayfield could lead him to the trophy. Okay, you're up, bud.
Okay, so we got two-time Gary Van. Uh, on the last pod, I said Gary's QB was his bald spot. Well, I think he made a trip to Turkey because the Steelers QB is now 10th on the board in points, which nobody expected. And Russ looks really good. He stopped all the off-field bullshit. And he's like a point guard out there. He's looking amazing. Um, his favorite draft pick, of course, is Derrick Henry, and he
Yeah,
didn't even want to draft him. He thought he was too old,
yeah,
but he's happy with it now, and he's the only reason why he's at 6-3. And he says, "Suckers."
yeah. That's the only reason he's at 6-3. But go ahead.
His best waiver pickup is Kyle Pitts because I dropped him. You guys, I had to drop the guy. He was sucking. you know,
Yeah, no, Neil, do not, because there was going to be a turning point for Kyle Pitts this year. He's turned the corner, and now he's doing pretty good, bud.
yeah, I didn't have the time to wait.
Yeah,
And
well, you make fun of Chase Brown, bud, but like, come on, he's one of the
anyways,
top tight ends in the league now.
he says karma got him back with Mark Andrews, who he dropped. and
Oh,
now has had a resurgence.
yeah.
Gary's favorite win was against Noob, where he only scored 78 points for the victory.
Sorry, noob. You're a butt of a lot of jokes here.
Oh fuck, he's yeah. His weakest position is QB and wide receiver. He's looking for more consistency, aren't we all?
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I feel like he's slowly pieced things together. You know,
yeah.
he's got
He's
Mooney. Mooney's turned out to be a
okay. Yeah,
huge surprise,
yeah. But
and
Harrison Jr. is not good.
yeah, yeah.
That's not somebody you want like supporting your team.
I he's kind of like a Deshaun Jackson. You know, you're gonna have a week where he gets 20, and then a week where he gets three.
Then you're gonna
Like,
have like 3 weeks where he gets three.
yeah. So he's turned out to be a bust, unfortunately.
This is
Um,
the are we through all the questions? Did we
I think Team Derrick Henry has a shot this year. So
well
that's all I'll
I
say about that.
I you know what? I think this honestly you think you're always scared to play this team, but I think he's catfished us a little bit, you know. This is the girl that you swiped right on the on your Tinder, and because she's hot, and she's then you get to see her and she's really not. This is all in the back of Derrick Henry, and I don't think his the game that he just played was that great. If the team decides to stuff Derrick Henry, this team's over. And like Kyle Pitts is okay. His QBs, you know what? Like you say, his QBs have gotten stronger. He's not even playing the Steelers QB this week. Did you know that? Like he's got the Giants in, and I guess that's because they're against Carolina.
Did
So
you? Yeah.
maybe he's gonna be able to ride the back of Derrick Henry on this one. And I could see what you're saying here. Is this gonna be like is he just gonna juggle these QBs? And do you remember that year that James won? And he had who's the
Tim
guy who
Tebow.
Tim Tebow, and what was the other guy? The butt fumble.
Oh, Mark Sanchez.
He had Tebow and Sanchez, I believe it was, and he just kept juggling those two. Is Gary going to do that? Is Gary going to juggle those two and just ride Derrick Henry's ass to the fucking like playoffs and beyond, or what?
Yeah, he's gonna hitch his wagon. That's
Yeah, he's got the Giants QB in right now, and the Steelers QB has been playing better. But you have catfished us. You looked really strong to start, and I actually, you know what? I can't see where this team is going. Like this is like the like clouded in the force. This one is. I can't see the future, man.
his team's like the girl on Tinder that takes the selfie from way up here so you can't see the double chin.
Oh God. Okay. All right, we ready to move on? I think we're moving up. Uh, oh, are you kind of doing me here? Are you gonna ask me the questions, or just want me to answer the questions? Uh,
Okay, just give me a sec.
oh, you got to give you a sec. Okay, how about I just start with my surprise pick up from the draft. My best, I think the best player that kind of surprised me the most is Chase Brown. That and so that's my surprise pickup of the year, who I dropped and is now on Mark's team. Your phone's lighting up. Maybe just uh, move it away so it doesn't distract you. Your wife wants you to go get some milk. Yeah, I think it's my surprise pickup was Chase Brown, and I know he's had a couple of tough weeks here, but I think my favorite waiver's been Tank Bigsby.
I was just gonna say, uh, I was on a serious note. Tank Bigsby has got to be your favorite pickup.
He's kind of fun. You know what, the QB might be done for the year. I don't know. It sounds like he's got to have shoulder surgery. It's his left shoulder. But if he's done for the year, they're going to hand that ball off, and ETN, you know, he looks like a mouse in a one of those little mazes running around there, and Bigsby like picks a line and fucking runs. So they're gonna have to hand the ball off. Favorite
Um,
win of the year. First game, I did play the replacements and I beat him by a point, and it was kind of like he could have easily beat me if his player scored like one more point. We were like watching it happen. I think what was it? Was it so like a top tight end? But my favorite actual win of the year was hanging with Ian all day at the Seahawks game and
I
just
was
pounding the shit out of his team, and then driving home with him and putting on the CBS Sports episode where they talk about all the high performers of the week, and every single one was mine.
fuck
And we're
you, Ian,
listening to
and
that. We're listening to that. We're driving home in his shitty fucking electric car that Ian has, where we got to stop like 5 times to get it charged on the way home. So it took us forever to get home. And he had to hang out with me all day. Uh, what am I looking to get replaced? Uh, I don't know. Maybe a backup running back.
I was gonna say you're tight end, but you ended up with uh, Tucker Kraft, who was number 3 in points, and now you switch that over to Hawkinson. So fuck, I don't know, playoff bound. Um,
Uh,
your your team is second in points for,
yeah.
and the Burrow Chase stack is higher than our dad's old Playboy collection.
Yo,
Do you remember that?
that was a big stack of Playboys.
That
That
was a
was
big
definitely
stack of
that's
Playboy.
funny that you brought that up. I was holy yeah, he had a box. I didn't go through those at all. No.
We we unfortunately destroyed all their value.
Pages all stuck together. That's for sure. Um
Um, so I have one note here that says "fuck the nip, the nub is back."
yeah, it could be. I could be. I don't think I'm not making the playoffs. But I don't want to toot my own horn too much because I've done that in the past, and like
When
you know what?
when
I still remember a year, like there was a streak where I came 4 to 5 years I came second. And I think the first one was I lost to people like Vino. I lost to people like Leroy. But
what do you think?
the worst one was I think the first one that I lost, I had it in hand. I was at your house and it was Christmas Day, and I was making fun of you because I had the championship in hand, and I remember you getting like pissed drunk at me, and you were angry, and then the Boxing Day I went home. You can lose any week. I could still lose this week. I went home, and that's when he was a young man, and he was a tight end for the Chiefs, and he was pretty good, but that fucker scored an 80-yard touchdown
For Aaron Mongren.
for Malmgren and won him the championships. And it that actually might have been the start to the end of my marriage because I was so cranky that day. It was supposed to be Christmas, and yeah.
You know what? I've seen you get into this position before.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks rosy, and next thing you know, two top running backs of yours, knees gone, blown out.
I was watching both of them that day. I
So
still remember who was it? It was the guy
yeah,
for the Bengals was one of them. Oh
yeah.
God,
So let's not give you flowers quite yet,
no,
but there's a lot of optimism there.
yeah. Okay. You
Okay,
are you you're up here. Are you not? With late
am
night.
I?
Yeah,
Oh,
you got late night, I think, bud.
late night. Okay. Uh,
Or am I up? Because we just did my team. So we're going back to your guys'
yeah,
division.
yeah.
Okay.
So the late night, he sits at 6-3. He's killing it. He's fourth in points for, and his draft pick, his favorite draft pick was Saquon Barkley. I don't think anyone can argue that, he's been a stud, that play where he hurdles somebody backwards.
Like it
Um,
was insane.
yeah,
Like you're you're on a highlight reel if you do it forwards.
yeah,
I like we cannot argue with this, you know?
no. I called his team the drunk driver last pod, and it looks like he's pretty good at driving wasted.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
he originally is from Souk, so yes. Like that's what you
his
do when you're from
best
Souk.
waiver pickup was Chuba.
How is he on the
How did nobody
waivers?
draft that guy?
I don't know.
I I don't know.
Hmm.
Brian's biggest victory was the bye week win against Garry. Garry thought he had a gimme, and then he sat back down.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the Wanderer says that he's falling short on the wide receiver front this year, but he's ready to roll the dice on the rookie, and he hopes he comes through in the playoffs.
You know,
He's talking about
yeah,
Xavier Worthy, right?
yeah. And here's that's the problem. Um, you know, this team is awesome. Like you can look, Eagles, Saquon, Chuba, okay, Jameer Gibbs, right? Uh, Vikings D is great, and then you start going to his receiving options, and I'm talking about all of them. Uh, Juwan Jennings. Well, okay, you're competing with Kittle, you're competing with Debo. Okay, T. Higgins has been sitting on the bench for him. Okay, he picked up Tucker Craft from me. Well, honestly, I had Tucker Craft, and if he scores a touchdown, he's great. He gets 3 catches a game. Okay, he's got Cole Kmet, so he's got Xavier Worthy as a starter. Uh, this is he's
I feel
Brian's
like
gonna
he was kind of stuck with that one
yeah.
because I think that's just going to be his rookie contract guy.
Yeah, he's also got
So,
Jonathan Brooks,
yeah, that's true.
but Brian. There's some weaknesses, but Brian's gonna buzzsaw you. He is gonna buzzsaw you with his running backs. They're just gonna run right through you, and he's got the tush push master. That guy could, he could throw 200 yards in a game. Who cares? He's on the 1 yard line and he tush pushes his fucking way in. So
On a side note, Brian thinks we should take a vote on any vote that James brings up should just be thrown out.
yes, Brian wants that in the podcast.
Who couldn't use that extra spot? Thanks, Jim.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
that comes straight from Brian.
Late Night would also like to bring back kickers for 2025. He
No
loves the
thanks.
randomness, loves the
Eh,
randomness of it all.
okay, and you know, are we? I think we talked. Brian, I think Brian's going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Again, and I think he's gonna like that is a team that is gonna running back you to death. He's gonna buzzsaw you to death.
it all depends on the Eagles, and but that's okay.
Yeah.
So
Are we ready to speaking of his little requests, are we ready to move on?
yeah,
I think we have to. My dog's crying at the door. He's been crying at the door for half an hour now, and he is probably going to poop on my floor.
okay.
Um, so do you feel like our four-time champ here is like the Chiefs, and where they just do enough just to win and beat other teams, and like the Chiefs don't look that great. They don't. They,
He
but
only scores when he has to.
yeah, do you think that's the case here? Like Jim James, like when you talk to him, he is under no like there's no delusions of adequacy here. Okay, like there's none. His team is shit, and he knows it. They are the second lowest points for scorers in the league, and we actually don't count Noob, so he's the worst scorer in the league. Uh, I he's
Jimmy's team is like the walking wounded, you
but
know.
it, he's 5-4. How is that fucking possible?
I don't know. His points
You,
for are so low.
you know how it is? His points against is 873. It is only one more point than his points for, which is
Right.
872. He is 332 points back. 332 points back from the top points for after week 9. That's not going to count my week this week. It's going to be worse. Like it, like is this team. Like when you look at it, Rico Dowdle, George Pickens, Khalil Shakir, Sam Laporta sucked this year. He does have Josh Downs, who I keep thinking is going to be better. I, does he need every week? Does he need his QB to throw a hail mary at the end just to fucking give his team a good score? I'm trying to figure it out.
I will
You know?
say that he did the right thing when he picked up Jordan Mason, spend all that money on him. I think that saved his hide. Really,
Oh,
I do.
did it ever?
Yeah.
Did it ever? Because I mean, his surprise pickup of the draft was all his best players go on IR. That was his surprise because he's had a lot of guys go on surprise. His best pickup, like you just said, is Jordan Mason. His favorite win of the year is every time he plays a Eberle. And when we asked him what's his position of need, he just says LOL because it's all of them, and I believe that. Um, you know, like
Well, I think him picking up Jaden Daniels in the draft was pretty slick because he
that's the guy
already
you were
had
hoping you picked up.
he already had the Chiefs quarterback, so I didn't think he would do that. But there you go. He
No, but
backed
let's be
himself
let's
up.
be honest. What you were hoping from the indie guy is what James has gotten from the Commanders guy.
Oh, of course. The Everybody was worried about Jaden Daniels and how skinny he is, and this and that, and can he take a hit? Well, the kid's
Even when he's
done.
getting interviewed on TV, he looks about this thick.
Yeah, that looks
Like,
familiar.
yeah, it's a good ass dick. Okay. All right. Like, Jesus Christ. He is a skinny dude. No wonder he has broken ribs. And but I just I don't see where this team's going here. I like, his only hope is that, he's 2-4 in the division, and that doesn't give you a lot of hope if you're tied going in, and your head-to-head matches in the division are your losses. So, you know,
Yeah, I
he
don't know. I think he's got with Pacheco. If Pacheco comes back and Christian McCaffrey, he's got good as chance as anybody. You know,
yeah, true.
and
True.
Jaden
Like if
Daniels,
Pacheco comes back and
you need three big producers, and he's got two, and he's got one in the wings ready
yeah,
to come back. So
who the fuck am I to talk about bad about this team? This guy's the four-time champ, and we definitely know that if he makes the playoffs, which he could, he could go to 5. He could go to 5. So like we can't say that I can't say that he's not smarter than me. That's for sure. We know that that is the case. There we are.
Okay, moving on. We got Steve, double D's. Steve sits at 6-3. He's looking pretty solid. I was bang on with this one when I said um, artificial intelligence, and it turns out artificial intelligence is intelligent.
Yeah.
His surprise draft pick is Tony Pollard. He's
Yeah.
looking like his old self from Dallas. Um, his best pickup was grabbing Kyle Pitts again
Who we ended
after
up
I dropped
dropping.
him.
He picked him up and
So
then dropped him
yeah, it's
because his team is that good.
yeah. I guess he likes leftovers from shitty teams. I don't know. Beating Garry in the last quarter with 1% projected chance was a highlight for Stevie.
When
Uh,
you've got 1%
yeah,
chance and you pull it off, that's a solid win.
yeah, that's a good one. And he says he keeps on streaming defenses, hoping to find the 85 Bears so he can make his playoff run all the way up for Steve. Any comments on his team, brother? I think
He's barely had to hit the waivers, man. Like let's be honest. This guy's team is so good. He still has $65 left on fucking waivers.
well,
Like
that's what he said was his only waiver pickup that he could comment on was Kyle Pitts, and it's just because I dropped him.
this is like okay. Um, th- this is the team that like you're in a like a Star Wars movie. You're the good guys. You got your pew pew gun and there's the smoke in the hallway and you're looking down the hallway and all of a sudden the fucking red lightsaber lights up and it's Darth Vader and you're just shitting your pants every time you play him. And he is the Darth Vader of the league to me. Like I faced him, I got munched. Just was that last week? You know, my team didn't show up. I had a little like a little laser pistol, and I was shooting pew pew, and
Yeah,
I
the
got
noisy
I
cricket.
got choked. I got like force choked to death. Like fuck.
there is not there's not one spot on his team that's a weakness.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna disagree with you, and I know you and I disagree with this. Uh, I do not believe the Seahawks QB is going to carry him to a win because it's not going to be the Cowboys. If there's anything in here, it's the fact that there's still good in him, and that will, Darth Vader. That's what brought him down. That's how Darth Vader died. There was still a little bit of good in him. Geno Smith is too much of a nice guy, and he is, uh, they're, they wrote him off, and he wrote back. You know, that is such a peaks and valleys QB to me. Like I watched him live, and he sucked. He sucked that day.
I think Geno's as good as his O line. I really do.
Ah, that's what they said about Russell. Come on, man. You know
Well,
what?
he's
There's shitty QBs playing or good QBs playing with shitty O lines, and they're doing okay.
okay. So I'm pretty sure he's number two in yards, air yards. Like the
You know what?
guy,
Yeah, but you know what? Like you guys still got to score touchdowns, but
I think the touchdowns will come, but we'll just leave that at that. I think, yeah, I think he's
yeah, but it is again. You're gonna have a you can have a mediocre QB and win a title for sure. You know,
his.
what was the QB who played for the Ravens when they won? And Trent Dilfer. You can have a Trent Dilfer and win a title.
Well, he's sitting at 4-2 in the division.
Yeah,
So even if he loses a couple, which
yeah.
a couple is
Again, look at his team right now, and like look who's sitting on his sidelines. Right, like this week his sidelines they're all on buys. He's got Seahawks QB is okay. He's got Kenneth Walker sitting on the side. He's got Jaden Reed sitting on the side. And if I still was playing this team, I would still be peeing my pants. So like Darth Vader's coming for you, and he's gonna make it to the playoffs. He knows he's gonna make it to the playoffs. He's not shy.
And we're gonna have to hear about it.
Oh, fuck. Are we ready to finish this up with our last team here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because after week 9, nice guys finished first, had the highest points for with 1,204 points for. He's lost the last 2. And when you've got the highest points for, I don't know how that's possible. He's on a losing streak of 2 in a row. His points against is pretty low. But we should unpack how this team has done this and got the most points for without any QB help. Okay. The Dolphins QB went down early. He ran into a guy who had died once. He ran into his heart with his head, and that transferred to his head. Okay. He's now got the Chargers in this week because they've been picking it up and playing a little bit better. He had Jonathan Taylor. Was Jonathan Taylor on IR? He was gone for a few weeks.
He was gone for 3.
And let's be honest, he was riding the back of Chris Godwin here, and maybe we should say riding the ankle. Did you see that guy's foot turn backwards on the TV? I did. I did see that.
I looked away.
But when you look at this team, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Drake London, Deebo Samuel, he picked up Mark Andrews, Brian Thomas Jr., Steelers D. His bench does not look good. But I really, really think there's a lot more juice to squeeze out of this orange. I really do. I think there's some juice in this team. He's gonna go to the playoffs. We know that pretty much. I don't know. I don't think it's for sure yet because there's still 5 weeks left, including this week. But he's gonna play Herbert this week. Is this guy going for his third? He's gonna march towards his third title.
I don't know. Like you said, I like to think of Scott's team as the Butterface team. When you see the hot girl with a hot body at the beach and she takes off her sunglasses, and you're like, what a damn shame. He's got everything that he needs but the face of the franchise.
He's missing the QB.
Yeah.
He's missing the QB.
You can do it like Jim did, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope for his sake Tua puts on that fucking kazoo helmet thing, and it's touch and go out there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think this is definitely again, it's the orange team. There's still a little bit to squeeze out of this orange, but you could be right. It's the Butterface team, and holy, but like that Mark Andrews pickup, like Mark Andrews.
I will say, I don't know. Mark Andrews doesn't look like himself right now.
Dude, yeah, he has the last few games though. Last couple of games, like if you watch him play, he's up there. He's grabbing ball. You know what? He's leaving for balls out of the air because, like that team, it could go to anybody. There's a few weapons, and he's like fucking grabbing that shit. And then like you look at Brian's pickup of Likely. Where the fuck is Likely now? Well, Brian spent the money. We should have done that. We should have done. Hey, where'd you waste your where was your waste of money on the waiver? That'll be our next one. Okay, I think we should write that down. Where did you waste your most money? And
how about Daniel Jones?
God, or like for me, like who's the guy? Oh fuck, who did I pick up from? I think it was the Chiefs.
Oh,
So,
um,
anyways, let's talk about Scott. Let's talk about Scott, where Scott's going here. He's lost the last two. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we know he's making the playoffs. His team looks solid. It's just on either. Do you agree? It's either on Tua or Herbert.
yeah.
And if he
Um,
picks the wrong one that week, that could be the end of him.
that's it. That's it. Because it's not a large margin from the top to the middle. So,
Yeah. So his surprise best pickup and or keeper, which we were kind of shitting on, let's be honest, was Alvin Kamara. His
oh, I was,
best waiver pickup, he says, is Mark Andrews. I can't disagree. His favorite victory of the year was beating Ian Sam Malone. Scott, we have the same thing. Our favorite win was against Sam Malone. Thanks, Ian. Um,
all of us hate you, Ian.
oh,
All of us hate you. You
uh,
and your fucking Sam Malone hair can go
yeah.
fuck
And
yourself.
then what position are you trying to make stronger? Scott says QB, and that's where we've been picking on this whole time we've been chatting about him. So I think that's it. The It's Sunday morning. The games have started. So guys, by the time all these games are done, everything that's come out, all the verbal diarrhea that's come out of Neal and I coming out of our mouths, it could be completely flipped uh, by the time you watch this video and you watch your position.
No way. It's 100% accuracy on this podcast. It always will be.
Yeah, and we are gonna. Neal and I have talked about it, and maybe that's a good thing. What was the thing we just said about? What did I just say we should write down and talk about?
Where did you waste your waiver money?
Waiver money. Let's write that down. Um, because Neal and I are I think, going to do a check our receipts episode. And that'll come a little bit where we go back and we kind of review, hey, how did we do when judging your keepers? How did we do when we judged your draft picks? And here we are today, Neal. We've done some more judginess, and
That's what we do best. Our dearly beloved wannabes.
what else you got going on in your life? You know,
You could
like
sit down and watch two idiots make a fool out of themselves on a podcast and make outlandish predictions about other people's teams.
and I already know that nobody's watching the ending here because I know all they watch is their little video for their team. So I think it's time for us to go have our pancakes, eat our eggs, and this is my kind of last day of drinking for like 6 weeks. I think you said you're on board, didn't you?
Yeah, sure.
6 weeks through the to leading up to Christmas, and then we can all get drunk, and you can get mad at me for something. I don't know, and
Probably because my team's terrible.
that'll be right at Christmas time too. Everybody will be off the sauce or on the sauce, back on the sauce, and
All the rage can come out.
all the rage. Just 6 weeks of anger will come out. And, all right, okay, brother, I'm gonna toast this podcast. Thank you as usual for helping me here. And any final words?
No. Good luck this weekend, fellas. Regards,
I don't need luck this weekend. I've got uh, you know
Jamar.
Jamar and I got Burrow and I'm playing. Oh, fuck! What a waste on Boob. What a fucking waste. Like I wish I
Well,
did. I wish those guys did this against Steve. I think they scored like 12 and like 15.
let's end on that note.
All right. Bye.
Okay.